So you've got a team. You've got a team you like. You've got a team you want to take care of. What app are you going to use for this team to make them the most productive and happy individuals possible? What was that intro? And getting started off, we're going to talk about the pricing of these different options. So with Notion, ClickUp, Asana, and Monday, they all have different pricing structures. And for teams in general, $8 a month for Notion is not bad per user. And then for ClickUp, it's either 5 or 12 or 19, depending on what your options are, mattering on what your choice is regarding the level that you want. And then you have either free for about 15 people, which is really nice in Asana, $10.99 for premium per user, and $24.99 per user for business. And then with Monday, you have from free with 2 people to $8 a month per seat, 10, 16. So the cheapest options really are Asana if you only have under 15 people. Notion's pretty cheap, but ClickUp is like the best value for small teams with the $5 a month. And Monday's pricing is not that bad. The only pricing that gets a little bit crazy is the fact that like Asana is $10.99 for a premium and then $24.99 for business. So when it comes to Notion, we have an application that is pretty cut and dry and simple, but also advanced at the same time. It's a page builder that then can create databases and allow you to make really nice things like daily planner views, or in the case of Rise Productive, a bunch of different tasks, projects, and resources filtered out here. So for example, our entire content calendar is housed on this database and can span across multiple different platforms very easily. We have a podcast one here, and we have a newsletter right next to it, as well as a YouTube video as well. This gives us a nice overall view of different content management stuff. The text experience on Notion is pretty solid. And then when we come to ClickUp, we have a much more task-oriented system where I have a home page which synced with my Google Calendar, which is really nice. It has a bunch of different spaces that you can create, and the views that you have here are really nice. Notion has a similar amount of views, but ClickUp goes a bit higher with things like workload, activity, a map view, and even whiteboards. And they have documents that can connect with your tasks, and the tasks themselves have a lot of different custom fields, just like Notion does. So if you're looking for a lot of custom fields, Notion, Monday, and ClickUp are all going to be good for you. It has recurring tasks, unlike Notion, which is mostly manual. It has the ability to track your time, and a lot of its functionality comes from its automations and integrations, which we'll get into in a bit. And then Asana is a very simple task management application that can have multiple sections, projects, and even saved searches, which are convenient. And this works really well if you have a team that is very task-oriented and doesn't need their projects to be connected to documents, because you can, hyperlink something within here and have subtasks for different items as well. And a nice thing that Asana does is it has the dependencies in there as well, where essentially you'll need to do one task before the other. Now, it doesn't have any documents whatsoever. An app like Monday.com does, but it's very similar to ClickUp in the sense that it has a bunch of different spaces that then you can set up views in. So for example, we'll go through and see that there's table, dashboard, chart, Kanban, Gantt, cards, form, files, and then there is some more views here that comes through the apps in Monday, which are very extensive. And you are also able to make documents very similar to what you can do in ClickUp, where they do not have the same level of functionality as Notion, since Notion is based completely off of documents, but they're nice nonetheless. Number one in aesthetics is definitely Notion. It has the nicest page builder I've ever experienced. ClickUp looks pretty nice overall and is pretty snappy in general. Asana is by far the most simple of all of these applications from a looks perspective. It only has a few different views to go through and file attachment areas. And then I think that Monday is the least user-friendly out of all these options. Now, this is a little bit subjective. However, I gotta say, I have been somebody who has been reviewing productivity apps for a long time, and it's the reason I haven't done a bunch of Monday videos, right? But when it comes to automations, you really can't do anything regarding automations with Notion. Let's just get that across. It's just pretty much blank. In ClickUp, you can do a lot of different automations. You can set recurring tasks to repeat. You can put some work in and get some basic automation out. The same goes for Asana, where you can do things like adding custom rules. So when, for example, when the due date is today, move the task to due today. There's some basic automations here, By far the largest level of automation out of this team software comes from Monday. If you go to any of these views and press automate, you'll see that it has a whole automation center and builder here. It'll take anything like it does with this automation builder and add rule here in Asana and make it look small. It also has different dependencies in there as well. You're allowed to then make your own custom automations, which is really nice. And if you can't find what you need, you still get to integrate with Zapier and Make. Now, when it comes to integrations, once again, Notion is not amazing. What it has is a bunch of link previews. So Notion has made some strides in link preview integrations, where essentially if I have a link from OneDrive, I can paste it in here and it can give me a link preview or something. It's not my favorite integration set out there. Now, ClickUp has a myriad of integrations. They have Click Apps, which are a bunch of cool things. There's an integration with your email. There's an Office 365 integration, which makes it easy to interact with stuff from there. And even more, like you saw earlier, this is a fully fledged integrated Google Calendar system, which is extremely convenient for anybody who wants to have your different calendars just right next to your task management. And then even more from there, you can see all the different integrations that exist. Now, from an Asana perspective, the integrations are also very large. If you're paying for it, you get a lot of different ones. So if we browse through these apps, some examples include Microsoft Teams, Adobe Creative Cloud, Asana for Salesforce, and there's even a Google Calendar integration, which is decent. There's a nice Chrome extension, Gmail extension. Now, what takes the cake regarding integrations is by far Monday. There is an integration center similar to the automation center and very large amount of options here. If you press add new integration here, look at this. You got a lot of different options. Obviously, Google Calendar is always nice. Todoist is nice. MailChimp, Google Drive, Gmail, all these are really great integrations. Now, I will say, if you want to go for an all-in-one option, my verdict is an all-in-one option that's at a decent price is definitely ClickUp. And then someone who's okay with all that manual labor, sure, use Notion. Someone who's looking for simple task management, use Asana. And someone who is looking for the most advanced system with the most options, go with Monday. That thing has a lot going for it. And if you want to have a lot going for your productivity, check out this video. See how you can improve your productivity even more.